How you guys doing? I'm in my old stomping grounds of Yucca Valley, California. I'm on my way to 29 Palms. And I thought I would clarify some more stuff on you. Like you were saying, Martin, how can you take 7 years to pass a civil engineering exam? You know, after that much time on the exam, I would have quit. Well, when I first started taking an exam, it's called like a civil engineer PE exam. So there's a take-home portion that I passed the first time. It just gives you some basic rules on like the procedures of like having an engineering license. But then after that, there's an 8-hour exam, and then there's two 4-hour exams that you have to pass. After you pass all three, then you are considered a registered civil engineer in the state of California. Well, it took me 7 years to finally pass all three of the parts, man. I was like the old New England Patriots when I was getting blown up. You guys remember the New England Patriots? Remember like that guy, I think it was Steve Logan or something. Remember when they played the New York Giants way back in the day? They got beat, and then after that, remember when the Patriots went to the Super Bowl again with Drew Bledsoe? And they almost beat the Green Bay Packers if it wasn't for Desmond Howard. Giving you some like knowledge. So go back and look that up. There was a time the New England Patriots were like a laughing stock, and now look at them. They've gone to like 6 or 8 Super Bowls and won about 4 Super Bowls. You know how they did that? You just kept going. That's how I did. I remember when I first started taking the exam, I thought, okay, I listened to all the other advice for different people who took it. So some of them were telling me, what you should do, Martin, is like study the survey, study concrete, and study steel, and then you'll pass the exam. And like you're just thinking, hey, as soon as I pass the exam, because I've worked different jobs, you're like eligible for like a management positions, but then you get like an extra 10 to 15% a month on your paycheck if you pass the test. So kind of like that's like your incentive to pass, or you get extra 10 to 15% bump in your pay if you pass it. So you get that incentive. You're thinking, all right, man, I'm going to pass the exam and I'm going to get more money. You see the outcome, but you forget the thing about the journey to get there. So that was my first time I took it. Second time I took it, people say, oh, you don't have to study like before the exam. Just study like a day, like 1 or 2 weeks before the exam. You can go over the hydraulics and go over the steel. And then after that, you'll pass it. And then what happened? Fail. Okay, so let me try it again. Then I went for the third time to pass the exam. And I think this time they said, okay, study environmental, study traffic. For the survey, all they're really talking about is they want you to know how to do theodolites, or you know how to do like there's these things called latitude and longitude. Just study that, Martin, and then you'll pass it. Okay, then I tried it again. And then we're looking at my second year, and then after that it just became a vortex where I kept just listening to people saying, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that, Martin. Take this review course, study that review, take Chilipati, take the Professional Engineering Institute exam, Engineering Institute exam, study materials, try that. And I was in my 4th year, and then finally I said, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, you run around some people who I say, hey, you might as well just quit, man. It doesn't really matter. You won't get that much money. It won't make that bit of a difference in your career, so just quit. So then you think, okay, hey, man, if I would have taken it 3 or 4 times, you've taken that exam 3 years in a row, man, and you still haven't passed? Man, you must be dumb. Why don't you just quit? I passed on the first time. But what I didn't think about is, did those people really pass on the first time? It's like they don't carry it around. You don't go to the civil engineering board and like, hey, did this guy really pass his exam on the first time? So you hear all these stories. Oh man, I didn't study. I was drunk. Hey, I was screwing my dog or girlfriend, and I went into the exam high, hungover, and I passed the exam. So you get all these rumors. But then I finally said, you know, those are great rumors, and some of those things may be true, but I'm going into my 4th year, so you know what? Why don't I just take responsibility for myself? And that's when everything started to change. At least when it came to me, when I started just developing my own strategies to try to pass the exam based on my strength. I did fail again, but at least I was a little bit closer, and I said, you know, there could be something here. And then I finally realized, you know, in order to pass this engineering exam, I'm really going to have to know my material code. And that's when I started doing research and looking for engineering problems from like the 1960s, 1970s. And I would just sit in my room, my apartment, 3 to 4 months before the exam, and I would just do problems. I wouldn't go anywhere for 3 or 4 hours. I tell my girlfriend, hey, I'll be over there, but let me do concrete today. Hey, let me do survey today. And I just stayed in the house for 3 months. And then I failed again, but then I was getting a little bit closer. You could see I was making progress, and I understood the problems a little bit more. So then I went back again. Okay, what did I do? What's worked? What didn't work? What don't I know about concrete? What don't I know about steel? What don't I know about survey? And then the hardest is seismic, trying to figure out all that stuff. Just like I realized, hey, in order to pass the seismic exam, I'm going to have to have a judicial specialty training to be current on the new standards. So then I started studying that, and then I took a seismic review course, and then I said, okay, I'll try that. And then while I was doing the seismic review course, I was taking off some of the skills I was learning about from seismic to help improve how to design concrete, how to select steel bars for concrete. It was also helping me a little bit with like my general vertical curves, like how to basically it's just geometry. It's just basic geometry like y equals x plus b type stuff. So it kind of helped me with my basic math skills. And what happened? Believe about my 4th year, I passed the 8-hour exam. I was so happy. It's like, all right, man. And what did I do after passing the exam? I passed that exam, so I was left with like the seismic and the survey. So I was thinking, okay, how am I going to get this done? So I got a little bit distracted. I started listening to other people say, oh, Martin, you can pass the survey exam by taking this type of course, or you can pass the survey exam taking that. So I said, okay. So I listened to their survey advice again. What happened? Failed the survey. Then I took the seismic exam where they said, oh, you don't need to study all that. Just study this. I passed it the first time by studying the night before. What happened? Failed. So I had to go back to the strategy I used to pass the 8-hour exam. I took a seismic course. Then I looked for every seismic problem I could possibly have. And then like every time I looked at something on the street, you know, I was doing seismic calculations. And what happened? Passed the seismic exam. It left me with one more, the survey exam. I think I passed the seismic exam in the 5th year. And then the 6th and 7th year, it took me to pass the survey. And then I kind of went back in a bad habit because I thought, okay, I got this. I got the 8-hour. I passed the seismic. This is easy. I know what I'm doing. I think I got the worst score possible I could on the survey exam. And that was even after studying, because instead of studying, sometimes people say, oh, the seismic people are going to they're going to focus on like monuments, they're going to focus on latitude, longitude, they're going to focus on title law, right-of-way law. So you're like trying to instead of just studying a general and just like getting pretty good on like the actual survey, I started like picking and choosing. So I think I took that I failed that seismic exam 3 times, I know. And then one time I was taking a review course at Jack London Square in Oakland. I was also out partying too, so that didn't help. So I think I went into one of the exams a little bit hungover. Don't ever do that. That didn't work for me. And then finally I said, okay, let's go back to the strategy I used to pass the 8-hour. What did I use to pass the seismic? I found every survey problem known to man. And then what happened? Passed the exam, and now I'm a registered civil engineer. So what you said, the false belief that I had to break down was I tried using other people's strategy, and it may have worked, it did not work. But what I was missing was I'm black. I was like in my 30s. It was probably like in my 30s or something, or late 20s. I wasn't a good studier in school, and there's some things I was missing out on. So my false belief was trying to listen to everyone else instead of just say, hey, just take responsibility. Okay, once or twice you can listen to people, but when you keep failing, you got to come with your own strategy. And that's how I passed my 8-hour exam. And then that led me, since then, that's when I've kind of been doing things on my own. And that leads me now to Grant Cardone. We'll be heading to Vegas for GrowthCon 4. And what I learned from Grant Cardone is, you got to make money. So the reason I was passing that exam, it wasn't to be a genius, it was to make more money. I should have just been honest with myself. The reason I want to pass my exam is because I want to have more money. And if you don't have money, that's it. So as I head to GroveCon 4, got a little extra money in my pocket this year. I've got the VIP ticket. I'm looking for the premier ticket, so focus on getting another $2,500. But what I learned is the false belief was you just can't do what other people do. Like your parents says, or if everyone jumps off a bridge, it's okay if you jump off with them, but if you land, are you going to land on the water, or you're going to land or on the pavement and kill yourself? And even if you land in the water, if you don't land properly, you're going to die too. So try that this weekend. That's our false belief. Who are you listening to, and what do you have to change?